bitches. Welcome to Bravo and Please, where we're going to get lit off all the latest going on in the Bravo TV world. This is a safe and uncensored space to discuss our love for everything pop culture and 420 related. So grab your can of goodies and let's get lit. Oh my gosh. Did I do it? How do I? This is a one-woman show, literally. So, hi everyone. I don't think anyone's here actually, but that's okay because this is also a podcast, an audio podcast. Welcome everyone. I'm Jenny Blaze. We have a new format, so excuse this chaos. I have a temporary background behind me. But every day not every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to be going live at noon Eastern to go through all the latest updates in the Bravo TV world. And I get to cut up the content so that I'm not doing it all in one show at the end of the week. I can talk about each night of Bravo as we go. Look at that. So I just want to make sure that if you are listening or if you are watching, make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can be reminded when we go live. And for now, I think for this week, I'm going to just keep it to me on the live because bringing in a guest right now, I think might be a little too ambitious. Also, I don't know if you can, or if you've noticed, I have my Jen Shaw houndstooth rocking right now. But actually, I'm going to take it off because it doesn't work for me. It's got like small sleeves and like, it's pointless. It's like forearm covers and that's it. The rest of it just hangs off the back. So, and y'all know I'm a sweaty bitch. So I'm going to keep it real. All right, let's see. We have a comment already? Hey, Philly Diva. Love my girl. See, this is why it's fun to go live because and I could go on multiple platforms. If you're on Twitter, you can watch me on Twitter, or this is on Twitch, which not a lot of people know about yet. I'm concocting a scheme. Just kidding. But yeah, so on the audio podcast, it's available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. If you have a preferred, sorry, I'm trying to take off this banner now. I don't know how to do it, but if you have a preferred platform that I didn't mention, feel free to send me a message. And I would love to accommodate you for that. But also, if you're watching, you may see behind me that I have a new background. This is actually just a temporary background because I've been working on redoing my office. Again, I'm very ambitious. If you've been following along, you know, I have big dreams. I have lots of things I want to do. And, unfortunately, my children just don't support other women. But just kidding. I love them, but they are very time consuming. And I want to be transparent and honest and authentic. So yeah, I thought I would have this office done, office slash studio. Thought I would have it done by today. And I do have the background done kind of, but there's more that needs to be done. So I'm just going to stay in this little temporary zone for a little bit. It's not that bad, right? It's white bricks. It's not like harsh on the eyes or anything. But yeah, I put wallpaper up, paintable wallpaper on the wall. And then we actually added some trim to our built-in bookshelf. If you look at the intro that I played and any of the prior seasons episodes, you'll see the background. I had all my merch and all my favorite Bravo memorabilia behind me. I've completely done it over. That's gone now. We have a new and improved version, which I'm excited to show everyone, but it's just not quite there yet. So stay tuned. It's going to be gorgeous. Baby gorgeous. Hi, Martinis with Eddie. Hi, baby gorgeous. Actually, Eddie, this is perfect timing because I was just about to talk about Bravocon. But before we go to Bravocon, my season finale for season 3 was Bravocon Eve. And I had a live show in New York City called Speakeasy and Be Cool. And we had a bunch of Bravo content creators show up, and it was the best time. Like, it felt like almost like a sleepover with your friends that you've known forever. But we all just met for the first time. So it was wild. It was so fun. I had great sponsors who provided some goodies for us all. And actually, I still have some left. So I'm going to be giving those away on season 4 of Bravo and Blaze. And I don't know exactly how, so bear with me. I'm going to figure it out. But I also want to have people engage, and I want to have Martinez with Eddie said the best time. Philly Diva said it was a great live show. We had some technical issues with the audio, and you could go see it. It's on my YouTube channel. I did not do any editing of it or anything, but we had a lot of lessons learned. And overall, I was super happy with it because the energy was just, I don't know, it was chef's kiss for Bravocon Eve. Like, we were all getting pumped up, and then we go into Bravocon. But wait, I forgot to mention the most important thing. Well, a lot of important things. One, it was Bravocon Eve was the same night that Winter House premiered, and Jason Cameron of Winter House came to my show, came to Speak Easy and Be Cool, and I just forever ride or die for him now. Like, I don't think he could do any wrong. And besides that, he is my favorite guy on Winter House. And he's still, like, I was a little nervous. Okay, there's like, new people coming in, but he's still on point. I love him. And it was like reuniting with my Valentine's Day, or my Valentine, because we did my first ever Bravo and Blaze video episode was with Jason Cameron. And it was on Valentine's Day. So it was before they filmed the season that we're watching now. And he hadn't talked to anyone yet about the Lindsay stuff. And so I told him, like, I didn't want to, like, I want to respect people. Like, I don't want to get too nosy or anything. I just felt like we had to at least address it, just, touch on it lightly, because if you've been following my journey, you know that, I myself had a stillbirth about a year and a half ago. And so when we watched that on Summer House, when Lindsay said that she had a miscarriage, like, it broke my heart, and it made me look at Jason in a different way. So I was going to try to republish the episode with Jason Cameron from Valentine's Day, but I think I switched computers, so I don't even know where it is right now. I'm gonna have to go back, but I'll definitely put the link in the show notes so that you can take a look if you want to see. I think I had to republish it when I first posted it because I used audio that I thought I could use because I paid for Canva, which is what I used for my video intro, which was super cool, by the way. And I never got the audio to go with it because YouTube flagged it. So if you go check it out, just stick through it because there's a little period of time that's has no audio. in the intro. Major bummer. But lesson learned again. So I also wanted to give a big shout out to Frankie Smoke. She was my presenting sponsor for Speakeasy and Be Cool. And I mean, she was more than I could have even imagined in person. She's just so amazing. I love her. And her brand is how I found her. Like, it was just like a nice cherry on the top of the cake, on the icing, or whatever Lisa Barlow says, that she is so amazing and that we click so well. I just love her. Make sure you go check out her website, frankiesmoke.com. She has luxury cannabis accessories, like smoking accessories. And I'm going to be showing more of those on this season because I haven't gotten a chance to really. And right now, because of the renovation, I don't know where anything is. So I'm going to have to figure that out too. Ooh, excuse me. So Bravocon, I also want to do a whole video just on Bravocon because so many things happened. It was literally like, I never been to Burning Man or Coachella or any of those like festival type of things. But if I did, like, I would imagine that that's what it's like. Because it was nonstop for 3 days. I didn't even have a ticket to go home until like the morning that I went home because I was like, I don't know. I had no time to stop. My hotel room looked worse than Sierra's, like from Summer House and Winter House. It was embarrassing, but also like I just dealt with it. Like I literally slept because when I went down to New York City, my husband drove me in our car. We brought a ton of stuff because I had all the swag bags. I had the cutout of Luann. I had all these, tons of things. I overpacked because I just like couldn't get it together. And also like I like to see how I feel that day. Like sometimes I feel different and want to wear like, something cute. Maybe some days I like to go basic and like do all black. Actually, I have Brock's homebody leggings on right now. They're my favorites. And I got to tell him in person to his face at Bravocon in the SVIP lounge, which I'm telling you, if you want to do Bravocon right, just go for the SVIP. Because even SVIP, you still have to like wait in line for things and stuff. Like I don't know. I loved it. And I was so relieved because I didn't know that there was a special SVIP lounge when I got the SVIP tickets. I was just like, I know I need to get whatever the best access is. So I went with SVIP. And then I found out when I was walking in, because I'm like, oh my God, I woke up late because I was so exhausted from preparing for my show that I was like, shoot, I wanted to be there like when the doors open so that I could take, my time and look around at all of the photo ops and things like that. Like there was none of that. It was go, go, go. There were hordes of people just streaming in, like funneling in. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, this is too much for me. I couldn't even go in, but I felt FOMO because everyone was like rushing in. And I was like, I need to smoke. So I sat outside and smoked, and I ran into Real Moms of Bravo. I was like, oh, hi, I'm sorry, I'm smoking weed. She's like, oh, very on brand. I was like, yes, I'll see you in there. So that was great. That like right away, obviously, just running into people in line that you've been seeing on Instagram for years is like, it's so wild, just that alone. So then we go in. I don't even know what is happening on the schedule because there's like multiple stages. Javits is huge. I was just I thought I was going to like walk in and like I don't know what I was thinking, honestly, because I had wedges on. Thank God those wedges were comfortable because I walked the most the first day because I was stupid and brought a coat. And I had to go all the way to the other side of Javits to check my coat at the Hugon check me boo coat check. And then I had to walk all the way back to the other side. Mind you, I had swag bags with me too. Okay. So I'm already sweating before anything is even going on. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm trying to find out what's going on by looking on my Bravocon app. First thing I do is look at the map and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's an SVIP lounge. Yes, I'm going there first. Even though I saw so many things, I was like, literally I saw the Toms and I was like, I actually did run up to them. I fangirled out and people were screaming in their faces. It was so wild, but I was dying laughing because Tom Schwartz is so on brand. He could not take one step because another person would come up and ask for a picture. It was just like nonstop. And Sandoval was like, come on, we're supposed to go here. They had somebody who was working there with them who was like, come on, let's go, let's go. And they couldn't go anywhere because Tom is too nice. And I even introduced myself, but I was like, I'll see you later, I'm sure. So I went to the SVIP lounge and like no one was in there. So I almost felt like it was weird, you know? And I think I went live or I did a video and I'm going to have to post that. Maybe I'll post it in a short, but I did a video of me just like walking through the SVIP lounge. I'm like, there was like maybe 3 people there. And then I see Jennifer Aiden and her assistant and her mother. And I was like, oh my gosh. And you can even hear me in the video. I like shut it off and like went to go talk to her. And I introduced myself because we've talked before through through DMs and stuff. And I was like, obviously I'm going to introduce myself. I had my cards, I had, my gifts for people and I went into work mode. I started introducing myself to other people in the SVIP lounge who were also SVIP like me. And literally I shouldn't have left. I regret leaving the lounge because literally you could just sit in there, have snacks, have drinks, sit down on like nice lounge chairs, and the Bravo Lebs just come in. The only downside I would say is like you don't know who's going to come in. So like for me, I'm a planner. I like to see like, okay, what's happening so I can like strategically put myself where I need to be. But it wasn't like that. And I didn't even know that it was, I really couldn't comprehend what was happening in the moment. And then like I kept running into people. It was nonstop. I ran into Christian Gray Snow and we took a picture and I was just like, this is too nuts for me. I had to go. I don't know if this was before the SVIP lounge. This must have been after. I think I was brave. I was like, I'm going to leave. It was just chaos. I saw Christian Gray Snow and I was like, this is too much for me. It was too chaotic. I had to go outside to smoke weed just to like center myself and get it together. Cause I'm like, it's a lot. Like the emotions, it was very up and down. Like when you see someone, you're like, oh my God, and it's just, I was like, I got to go out. And so I'm smoking weed outside, looking through Twitter. I see Christian Gray Snow, who I just saw and took a picture with. He said, I'm overwhelmed. I had to go outside. It was too much. I'm having anxiety or whatever. And I tweeted back, I'm smoking weed outside. Come find me. But it was just like, seeing his tweet made me feel so much better. I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's not just me. So that's Bravocon kind of in a nutshell, but it was the best time of my life. I'm still like, I have so many memories, like mental pictures. The first night, Friday night, was Andy's Legends Ball. I went to that and I don't drink anymore. And there was an open bar and stuff, and people were drunk, like gross drunk, probably how I used to be. But when you're not drinking, you're like, ugh. And it was scary because this woman was on the balcony screaming. I thought she was going to fall off the balcony, to be honest. But I had some shrooms with me. So I was like, I'm just going to take them. Like, I'm going to bed after this. Like, and we're not doing anything. We're just sitting here watching a show, which actually was like 4 hours long because they were actually recording it and they had like commercial breaks, and then they had to like make sure they got certain things in there or whatever. And so we were there for like 4 hours. I took shrooms and I was sitting next to Dylan Hafer from Bravo Betches. And he probably hates me now because I just like watching Andy's Legends Ball in person. I was like, is this happening? Like, Ramona's on stage fighting with Teresa. It was just epic. And then also, like, we were in the balcony, so I couldn't see. And there were so many Bravo Lebs. There's so many. I couldn't even, it was hard to focus. And so I went live on Instagram and I started zooming in on everyone. I was like, okay, this is easier. And I was like scrolling through. So if you go to my Instagram, you can find the lives because I kept everything up there. And we're just like commenting on, everything that's going on. I forgot the girl was sitting next to me. I forgot her name, but like we hung out the whole time, which, by the way, Bravocon is basically like being on a cruise. You just keep seeing everyone like in different places throughout the whole weekend, and like you're in different outfits and you're taking pictures. Like, it felt very much like a cruise. And I forgot her name. If you're out there, I love you so much. You are so fun. I had the best time sitting next to this woman that I just met. And like, I feel like we're friends now. So yeah, call me. Anyways, wait, I want to catch up on some of these comments that we got. We had fun in the chats. The sound issues didn't last that long. Oh, talking about the show. Thank you. That makes me feel better. Martinis with Eddie, 2023. We are doing it all over again. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I am definitely doing it again. And I'm going to go bigger and harder because I was working. Okay. If anyone saw me at Bravocon, they know that I was hustling. Philly Diva. And I'll do it again next year, but I'll make sure to do SVIP or VIP because that general admission messed with my anxiety. Yeah, we don't do Gen Pop. I have a little meme with Todd and Kenya and Candy walking by Marlo at the pool on that trip. Were they in Jamaica? And they're like, we don't do Gen Pop, or we don't do no general admission. Yeah, no, you can't. I would do general admission to like a beauty con because I'm not like a hardcore, like I love beauty products, but I'm not like a beauty podcast or anything, So for me, it was definitely worth it to get SVIP, and I think you get a lot with general admission too. So I'm not going to like knock that. But like, depending on what kind of experience you want, I think, it's different. It's definitely different at, the various levels, but that might be okay for some people. Like, I really wanted to get some of the photo booths, and they had SVIP lines for those, but they were not run properly. When I went and I tried to go, they were like, no, we cut off the line because it's like an hour and a half or something. I was like, what? That's insane. And they weren't even, the communication was all off. Like, nobody knew what was going on. I was just like, I can't do this. So that is a regret that I have. I did get one photo booth thing with the Vanderpump Rules set, and I sucked so bad that I don't even know where it is. I don't know if I want to post it. It was awful. Maybe I will. We'll see. But what else? Philly Diva, I felt the same. Yeah, it was chaotic. But yeah, so after I took shrooms, I thought I was going home, but then I didn't go home. and I had like the best time of my life. And I didn't take that many. I took like 2 pictures. I really kind of didn't want to because 1, my phone was dying, and 2, I kind of felt like I, we were hanging out with them. Like, I would feel very awkward to just pull out my phone and be like, hey, can we take a picture? I just wanted to like enjoy it and just like live in the moment. And I really had a good time. I ran into like so many people. Oops, I shouldn't have shown that. My cup. Anyways, okay. So I haven't even gotten to like any of the stuff that went on this week. So, or over the weekend. I'll just keep sprinkling in Bravocon stuff throughout the season. Like I said, I'm going live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 12 noon Eastern. And I'm going to be pushing that out so that it's available on my YouTube and on my podcast, which is available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. Also, last season I made a video called How to Sell, or no, it's not called How to Sell. It's how to launch your own She by Sheree fashion line in under 14 years. And essentially, that video teaches you how to sell your own merch. So if that is something you are looking to do, I highly recommend going to check that video out because I walk through exactly how I create my merch. And so you could do the same thing. And the holidays are coming up. So if this is something you're thinking about, this is your sign to go and do it because this is the perfect time to do it. And why wait? Speaking of the holidays, I released a new product last week. It is the Fat Fucking Elf on the Shelf greeting card, and it has the Jen Shah quote on the front with a little elf on the shelf. And it's blank inside, so you can write whatever you want on the inside. So that's for sale. Go check out my shop at bravoandblaze.com. And now I want to get into some updates because a lot has been going on. I haven't done like an actual podcast episode like this since before Bravocon. Excuse me. And I've watched a ton of things. A lot has gone on. Obviously, it's just been pretty nuts, right? So I'm just going to jump into it. I'm not going to try to play catch up. We're starting from Friday, this past Friday, 3 days ago. Today's Monday. So one thing that came out is Ramona is not coming back to RHONY. That's been confirmed by her. And to be honest, I don't really care. But in other news with RHONY, there was an unofficial like Broadway musical that happened last night, Sunday night, and you can go check out Caduce and Bravo Should Be Fun. Go to their Instagram because they posted some videos and it looked so good. I really hope that they do another one because I want to go. I would definitely go. If I knew it was going to be like that, I would have maybe tried to go. I didn't even know what was happening. But yeah, Caduce and Bravo Should Be Fun. Also, I keep forgetting that Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 2 is just airing for the first time. It started like, I think the weekend of Bravocon. So they're in like their 4th week. And I turned it on Friday. And I was like, oh, shoot, this is the Dorinda aerobics episode with Tamra. And oh my God, I think that episode is what made me love Ultimate Girls Trip 2. And I know people are like, oh, Dorinda's so mean. Dorinda's so mean. I empathize with Dorinda. I mean, I'm not condoning her behavior, but like, we also kind of know this about her. And like, the show was at her house and she did so much prep. Like, now that I have my own show on Bravocon Eve, like, I was exhausted from that. And then it was showtime after that. So I empathize with Dorinda. And I'm not saying she should be so harsh, but But I guess Tamra handled it okay, right? I don't know. She didn't really. I don't know. It was nuts, but if you aren't watching, go watch. This I'm liking the rewatch that I'm doing because when it came out on Peacock, I didn't make any content, but now that it's on the Bravo app, trade secret, now I can make content. So that was on. And then I didn't know this, but the Real Housewives of Durban premiered this weekend on Friday night. And I think that's wild. Like, nobody told me. Did you guys know? I think that's wild. So I didn't watch Friday night because I was caught off guard. But then I watched over the weekend and I am loving it so far. They got the first 3 episodes out, and I believe they said they're releasing a new episode every Friday and on Saturdays on Peacock. I don't know. I'm kind of confused. When Bravo and Peacock do this scheduling thing together, it doesn't feel cohesive. It feels janky, and I don't know what's going on. But I do want to say, like, I highly recommend going to watch it because there's like an Eskimo sister situation. And I said this with Dubai when I started watching Real Housewives of Melbourne too. I really think that the future of Housewives is international. And it was kind of confirmed for me over the weekend because I also binged Dubai Bling. And I don't know if y'all have seen Dubai Bling, but that season 1, mind you, I was watching while I was painting for a lot of the show, and they speak in another language. I don't know exactly what language it is, so I don't want to say the wrong thing. But during those parts, like I would have to rewind it, or I just skipped over it because I was painting at the same time, multitasking. So, but what I did see and absorb, this show is so good and it's nuts. Like, actually, now that I think about it, I'm having a real girlfriends in Paris moment of Yoan getting, or when Victoria threw the drink on Yoan, because that's kind of what happened in this situation. And it's in another country, so I don't know what the laws are. I'm very intrigued now. I almost want to like call Zaina, ask her, did you press any charges? But they got, I mean, this is Dubai Bling. It obviously, I feel like it's going along with the Bling Empire, which they had 3 seasons of Bling Empire on Netflix. They're releasing a Bling Empire New York City with Dorothy Wang, who I love, and I'm so excited. I kind of feel like this Bling franchise, or whatever you want to call it, this Bling theme, I think it's kind of like Netflix's version of Housewives. And I kind of love it. The only thing the downside for me is I do appreciate live tweeting. Like, I want to watch with people. So maybe, and you know what? Netflix actually, I just learned this recently. Netflix has more community. They might actually have watch parties now that I think about it. I need to look into this. Writing it down now. Netflix watch party. Because if they have that feature, I would definitely do that. That would be so fun. But yeah, if you're not watching, go watch it. Should I change my name from Bravo and Blaze to Netflix and Blaze? Just kidding. Or am I? Anyways, okay, so Dubai Bling, go check that out. All right, now we're getting into last night's episode, which is really what this live show is supposed to be for, is to catch up on the prior night's shows. We had Real Housewives of Potomac and Family Karma. I did a poll in my stories asking who's watching Potomac, not because I Maybe I'm a witch. I really wasn't thinking like, oh, people aren't gonna watch. I just like randomly was like, oh, who's gonna watch? And surprisingly, like not a lot of people were watching because they're watching Yellowstone. And I don't watch Yellowstone. I don't know what's happening with Yellowstone, but I couldn't believe that people would abandon Potomac for Yellowstone. What's with that? Anyways, so Potomac, last night's episode was pretty interesting. We got to see lots of Candace, and she was defending her man, rightfully so. I don't think Chris did anything wrong, but we got to see that fierce Candace side. Even Karen Huger was like, oh my. Just like, not the D. But yeah, that was spicy. We also see Ashley go see a lawyer, thank God. Mia brings the ladies to MIA, Miami. And I thought it was weird that she was like, first class, 5-star luxury. And then when it was happening, I'm like, I don't feel like it's definitely nice, but they're not even staying in Miami, like in South Beach. They're like literally, I think Charisse even said it was like your grandma lives across the street, which there's nothing wrong with that, but not for like this trip, I feel like. And I love Mia, so I'm not trying to hate on her, but the first thing that came up obviously is the bedrooms, which we always know is going to happen. And apparently there's 6 bedrooms in this very beautiful house, but there's 9 people. And Mia promised Charisse her own room, but Charisse was like not having it. And I kind of don't blame her. Like I need to like approve of my accommodations, I think. And I don't know. I just like, she didn't have her own bathroom, and I get it. Like she could have used someone else's bathroom, but you don't want to be like in carrying your clothes in like a towel. Like even when people stay at my house, I try to give them a robe and their own towels because I don't have like, an ensuite for my guests. So, and I feel bad about it. Like I wouldn't be offended if anyone wants to stay in a hotel, and it actually is easier because I have like a million kids. So, and I don't need to stay at anyone's house either. Like I appreciate the offer. But I kind of like, I'm realizing at 40 years old, I think I just like my space. Oh, Philly Diva. Also, put Young, Rich in Africa on Netflix. It's a good watch. I did hear that actually, and I almost started watching it, and I need to watch it. Maybe that's something I will do during the slow part of this week in Bravo, which is, we all know, is Monday and Tuesday, right? I don't even know what's on today. But yeah, going back to Potomac. So, all right, we got these ladies. She's like, first class all the way. She assigned the rooms, and people are upset. And Candace isn't even getting there until after everyone. That is a bummer. Like, if I'm going on a trip, a girls' trip, I don't think I can, like, and we're sharing a place, I don't want to be last. Definitely not. But GVO was brought up again. Good vibes only. She said since that didn't work out, they were going to go with MIA, missing in action, right? I mean, I thought she was going to do something playful because her name is Mia and MIA is Mia. And then she just did missing in action, I think. But I do have GVO sweatshirts in my shop. Don't forget, the holidays are coming up. So go get yours. I'm going to put all the links in my show notes, obviously. But next week on Potomac, we see Mia and Wendy get into it, and a drink is tossed at Peter's bar, which I thought it was weird. Someone posted the scenes for next week already, and he says he sent Wendy like documentation or like whatever legal documents to take the next step in pursuing this business venture that they had talked about doing. And he's mad at her for that. Well, actually, wait. Okay. She didn't respond. So I'm picturing like he emailed her this PDF and was like, here's all the terms. This is what we're going to do. Once you give the check, then we're moving forward. Excuse me. So she just never responded at all, I guess, which is kind of rude. Like she should at least be like, I can't promise anything at this time, or please give me, can I get back to you in X amount of time or something. Just, I don't know what the time frame is between, when they met and then when this trip is, but he's like, I'm mad because she didn't call me. Going to his, like, that's a little bit of a stretch, I would say, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not loving Wendy this season, but I think this is a little bit ridiculous. I don't know. I need to know what you guys think. So yeah, next week we'll see on Real Housewives of Potomac. So moving on. Oh my gosh. I hope I don't cry. Like literally Family Karma. Family Karma season 2. I cried. I did not only cry. I sobbed for all of season 2. Like almost every episode. And it was just so beautiful. Such a beautiful show. Beautiful people, beautiful hearts, great dynamics, the multiple generations, the, immigrant parents with their traditional culture coming into this, into the US, trying to adapt but still maintain. And it hit me. That show hits me hard because my mother is a Korean immigrant and that struggle is real. And anyone, I mean, you don't have to be have that same ethnic background, but if you are a child of an immigrant, most of the time, like I grew up in a Korean community, but I went to a white school. Like there was just very nuanced memories that I have and experiences being, like also throw on top of that being half and half, being mixed. Like there's so many nuanced things that are interesting to see in this group of people. And I'm just so here for it. But last night, okay, so this was, I think they're in episode 2 of season 3, and we're at Vish and Rich's wedding. Vishal and Richa. God, I feel like him right now on his wedding speech. But it was so beautiful. This wedding, like I've never felt this way before watching a wedding or any kind of event on TV, but like I literally felt jealousy that I was not at this wedding because it just looked so amazing. And not only was it beautiful and amazing, like there's so much involved, like the ceremonies, the rituals, the traditions, the attire, the symbolism. I loved it so much because being to Korean weddings, they have similar things, not as extravagant as the wedding we saw on Family Karma, but they have traditions that you have to explain to people. Otherwise, they'd be like, why are you throwing chestnuts at the bride and groom? Which they do in Korean weddings. But apparently, like, and it has to be thrown by a certain person in the family and like in a certain order. And like, it means like how many children you're going to have or something. It's just like, I love those types of things. That's like those traditions. I hope continue with future generations. I hope we don't lose those things. But the wedding was just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I cried so much. Like there were so many parts where just watching them go through the ceremony, like the bride, Risha was like, it's hard to be a bride. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't believe all the stuff that she had to do. Like even just the mendi, the henna, like 8 hours or whatever. And like putting on these bracelets, they had to be put on by her uncle or whatever. And like there's certain times they had the auspicious ceremony time. They had to get married at 9:30. The ceremony was like 3 hours long. Like I don't know if I could handle that. That I would need to like, I might need to have other things going on, which they did try. They had like little popcorn and like, I don't know. They tried to make it nice. And it was beautiful, but they were on the beach and it was like 99 degrees out for 3 hours in like full garb. I would have been like, I'm sweating just thinking about it. Whew. But I thought, okay, so Amrit, I think might be my favorite. Amrit and Nicholas. Watching them talk about like what are they gonna do for their wedding? It just like I get chills. Like that kind of stuff just like I don't know, it just touches me emotionally because I think it's beautiful. And also like kind of like I get the heartbreak at the same. It's almost like bittersweet because you're breaking tradition, but you're also creating a more beautiful tradition. I don't know how to explain it really, but I cannot wait to see their wedding. I'm really excited. Oh my God, Lopa. I might cry. I really might cry right now. Whew, Lopa. I just love this woman. I don't know what it is. I think it's like she's very passionate and she comes off so harsh. So harsh. I get that because my mom is like that, like very harsh. And it's not right. But I also see that comes from like a place of pain. And like we've slowly been getting more of that from Lopa, where in season 2, the way that it ended, they finally mentioned that Lopa had another daughter who they haven't talked to in 10 years. Like 10 years. That is heartbreaking. And then on top of that, she has her speech at the wedding and has everyone crying. Like I'm going to cry right now just thinking about it. But then right there, we find out more about her. She had no mom. That's what she said. I had no mom. And like, I can't imagine saying those words. Like, I have no mom. Like, what does that mean? Like, your mom has passed away, or like, what does that mean? So I just feel like there's so many layers to Lopa. Like, I want to hug her and I want to root for her. And I hope that, like, together they can all have like positive, like experiences together in this next phase. And hopefully her, like trauma or whatever is going on in her past doesn't, weigh on her. But then, okay, so there were beautiful speeches. Amrit's speech was beautiful. It was like amazing. And then Vishal, he starts off with, we've been together for 10 years and you don't look a day older, or something like that. And then he's like, so you better catch up, Mrs. Benjamin Buttonass. I'm not making this up right now. Mrs. Benjamin Buttonass. Oh my God. Then he goes on and says something like, we're really grateful. He's thanked every single person, the wedding vendors, the production crew, everyone. And he's like, oh my gosh, what does he say? Now I lost it. I'm having a stoner moment. He's like, for all of our family, thank you for being here. And those who can't, who aren't here, not because you weren't invited. Oh my gosh, Vishal. It's hard not to laugh, but it is also concerning because spoiler alert, if you haven't watched already and you don't want any spoilers, it's too late. But next week, or what we find out is that Vish blacks out on his wedding night. And it's really extremely heartbreaking. Like that the wedding night is part of the ceremonies. Like they even said this is like the one time our parents know that we're gonna go have sex. But and then Amrit's parents talked about their ceremony and how they were virgins before they were married, and there were rose petals, and they saw each other's geographies for the first time. Oh my God, I was dying. That was such a good scene. Just so hilarious, but so sweet and innocent too. Oh my God. I just love that show. So oh my gosh, we're almost at an hour. I'm going to wrap this up then. Wow, good timing. So I just wanted to promote my episode, my season premiere, season 4 premiere episode with Dr. Contessa Metcalf, MD, MSP, HABPM, from Married to Medicine. We talk about cannabis from a doctor's point of view, and from a doctor in a state where cannabis is not currently legal. And Dr. Contessa she specializes in addiction therapy. And we talked about, how I have used cannabis to help me to stop drinking. As you may know, I'm California sober, meaning I still love my weed. But I don't drink alcohol. Alcohol has not played a good role in my life. And so I loved that I got Dr. Contessa on the show because these are really the conversations that I think are extremely important that we need to talk about. And so I highly encourage you all to go check out that episode. I'll put the show or the link in the show notes. I also want to give you a heads up that I have an episode coming out with RHODurban of Real Girlfriends in Paris. That means Paris, guys. And so that's exciting because they just wrapped up season 1. I love that show. I think it needs to have another season, but stay tuned for that episode with RHODurban. I have to edit it. That's why it's taking me a little bit of time. But also, like I mentioned, I have that episode with Jason Cameron, my first video episode of Bravo and Blaze ever. So it might not be that great, but at least the audio and video, I don't know. We'll see. But make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications. We're going live on every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We're live on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, but the audio podcast will also be pushed out to Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. And don't forget to check out the Bravo and Blaze shop for all of your holiday merch. It's coming up. I'm sorry to be that person to remind you, but it's coming up. All right. I'll see y'all later. Stay lit, fam.